In this video, we will discuss how to use the MGC Diagnostics Ascent Data Query software. Data Query is an optional query tool that allows the user to extract data across all patient visits that are stored in the Ascent database. It can be used to find patients or visits based on criteria such as date range, patient attributes such as age or diagnosis, or test result values. As an example, you can create a query that displays all patients from the previous year over the age of 50 who have an FEV1 less than 80% of predicted and a DLCO value less than 70% of predicted. Data Query is a licensed feature. Consult your local sales representative if you have questions about obtaining this software option. Users must have admin rights to access this feature or be given access by an administrator of the Ascent software. To verify access rights, go to the admin menu. Open the user role for a particular user and ensure the checkbox is marked for Data Query. Data Query is only available in Ascent version 2.4.0 or higher. Let's get started by opening the application. If you don't have an icon on your desktop, there are two ways of finding the application. One way is to click on the search function of Windows and type in Data Query, then click on the application. Another method is to click on the Windows Start button, then click the All button and/or scroll down until you see MGC Diagnostics and click on this menu item. Next, click on the Data Query icon. Log into the application using your Ascent username and password. Please note that when logging into Data Query, you may receive a message concerning GX data. This may happen if you upgraded from an older version of Ascent. To resolve this message, open File Explorer and scroll to Program Files, then MGC Diagnostics, then Ascent. Within the Ascent folder will be a file called createauxiliaryefforts.exe. Double-click on this file to run it. When the application has converted the data, close the file and reopen Data Query. Because everyone's needs are different, there are no default queries that come with the software. You must create your first query by clicking on the blue plus sign, then enter the name of your query and click OK. Next, we will build the clauses or rules for your query. The first clause is to show me all patients over the age of 50. For this, I click on the blue plus sign to the left of demographics. From the first drop-down list, I select age. From the second drop-down list, I select an operative, in this case the greater than sign. In the last entry, I type in 50. If additional demographic rules are required, click the blue plus sign next to demographics and add the desired values. Next, I want to select patients that have an FEV1 less than 80% of predicted. To do this, I click on the blue plus sign to the left of PF variable. Select or select or for each additional clause by selecting from the drop-down menu on the left. In the second drop-down menu, select the test type, in this case the FVC. Next, select the FVC variable, such as FEV1. In the fourth drop-down menu, select the type of variable to query. In this case, we are looking at the percent predicted for the pre-bronchodilator value. Then select the operative to use. Since we are going to put a value into the final entry, leave value for the sixth entry, then type in 80 for the last entry. So far, we have built a query that says to show me all patients over the age of 50 that has an FEV1% predicted less than 80. Note, you can also compare one variable to another. In this screen, I replaced value in the sixth entry with FVC. I am now comparing the pre-FEV1 to the post-FEV1. Again, you can add additional PF variable clauses by clicking on the blue plus sign. Next, we will add a query based on visit information by clicking on the plus sign to the left of visit info. If you want to see the tests that were performed by a certain technician, select Technician from the drop-down menu. In the last entry, select the technician from the drop-down list. Only technicians that are entered into the Ascent database will be displayed. Now we have added to our query that we want to see tests that were performed by John Doe. GX variables can be added the same way as PF variables by clicking on the plus sign to the left of GX variable. Please note that the GX data retrieved in Data Query will be based upon the averaging method used during testing, such as mid-5 of 7, and cannot be changed within the Data Query application. Continue adding clauses until you have completed your rules. More complicated queries may have several clauses or rules. While the operatives for each clause can be and, or, you can combine two or more clauses. In this example, the and operative takes precedence, so the query will return visits where the subject is female and has a diagnosis of asthma, or a subject of any gender over the age of 65. This can be fixed by creating a clause group for the last two clauses. Select the clauses you wish to combine by checking the box to the left of each clause. The clauses to be combined must be next to each other. Next, click the blue plus sign next to clause group. This is only available once the clauses are checked. A green bar will indicate which clauses are included in the grouping. Now this query will return all female subjects and have a diagnosis of asthma or are equal to or greater than 65 years of age. Be sure to click on the Save icon at the top to save your query. Now that we have created our query, we must determine what the output of that query will be. Click on the Setup icon at the top of the screen. You must first decide the type of patient you are performing your query on. At the bottom of the screen, check the appropriate box. Next, select the page orientation for your report. If your report has several variables, Landscape will give you the most variables per line. In the Query Settings tab, you have the output fields for demographics information. Beneath the headers, you have all of the available fields, and then the selected fields. If you want to add another demographic variable, such as race, select race on the left-hand side, then click on the right-facing arrow to move it to the Selected Fields column. Any new selection will automatically be placed at the bottom of the Selected Fields column. To move any selected entry, highlight the entry, then use the up and down arrows on the right side to position the entry correctly. When finished with demographic information, select the next variable type from the drop-down list. Here I have selected visit information. You may wish to add information specific to the visit to your report, such as the visit date. Next, I selected PF test variables for pre-FVC data. In this example, I am placing the pre-FEV1 into the Selected Fields column. Since FEV1 is a FVC variable, I select FVC from the drop-down list. Next, I select pre. From the Available Fields column, I highlight FEV1, then select the right arrow to place FEV1 into the Selected Fields column. Continue adding PF test variables to your output report. Once you are finished with PF variables, add any GX test variables to your Selected Fields column. The last items in the Setup menu is to select the App Settings tab, then select the units for the variables, either SI or English. You can then click on Select and browse to where you want the output file to be saved. Click on the Save button to save your settings and return to the main data query screen. A summary of your query will be listed at the bottom of the screen. Again, we are asking for a list of patients over the age of 50 with an FEV1% predicted less than 80 and were performed by technician John Doe. With your query and settings complete, click the Run icon to run your query and see your results. In this case, the query returned only one patient meeting all of the criteria. To see the results of the query, you can preview the report on the screen by selecting the Preview button, or select the Print button to send the report to your printer. Here is a preview of the report created by the query. While in the preview screen, you can print the report by clicking on the Print button at the top of the screen. Click the Close button to return to the Data Query main screen. Click the Export button to export the query report as a comma-separated values file, also known as a CSV file. This file can be imported into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Select the XML Files button to export the query report as an XML file. Breath-by-breath GX data can be sent with the XML file if you have the optional Data Services application. Both of the file exports will go to the file location you designated in the Setup menu. Note, there are significant differences in the two export options. The exported CVS file will contain only the data you specified in the Query Setup menu. However, the exported XML file will contain all visit and test information from that visit for each patient. To create a new query with all options blank, select the blue plus sign in the upper left. To copy an existing query so that you retain all of the options and entries, select a query from the drop-down list, then select the Copy icon. This will create a query with the same name, followed by Copy at the end. You can then rename this query and edit all of the entries for this query. Thank you for watching this video. To talk with a sales professional, please contact sales support at 1-800-655-1133 or email sales support at salessupport@mgcdiagnostics.com. For technical questions on data query, contact technical support at 1-800-333-4137 or email us at support@mgcdiagnostics.com.